Welcome back. Episode number 61, TalkBall Tweakers. This is the MLB deadline or MLB trade deadline special. So got a lot of things to talk about, especially with two Tigers fans. And obviously the biggest news being the biggest Tiger headed to LA. So we'll get into that. But how we feeling, one, with the deadline, and two, how we feeling in general?
Feeling good? Oh, about the deadline, not good.
I'm about to say,
But
I don't know about feeling good. Is
about the deadline, not good, but overall, feeling good. Feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, deadline was fun. My team sucks, so don't really have any feelings involved. I'm sort of checked out, but yeah, we feel good. It's college football season, more importantly, so that's the better part. Fuck the Mets.
yeah. Well, Tigers aren't doing much better, really,
You
in
know
my
what? You know
opinion.
what? Fuck the Tigers too. How about
Yeah.
that?
No,
Fuck the
No, 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 no,
honestly,
no,
Tigers.
no, 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 no. Not the Tigers. We'll just go with ownership. You gotta do ownership because
Yeah,
everybody except ownership wanted to keep Skubal. Everybody.
you have a point. You have a point. You have a point.
of course they wanted to keep Skubal. Like,
Yeah.
who wouldn't want to keep TARIK Skubal? And then, like, yeah, I'm not even gonna go on a rant yet. I'll let you guys do it.
Yeah, we'll get to all of that in a minute. But that's good. I feel we lost two of our best pitchers, and now we're back in kind of rebuild mode slightly for the Tigers. And you said the Mets have been bad all year long. So they shipped off 8 players at the deadline, and we got a team full of sorry fans. But this is the life of a New York and Detroit fan base.
Hmm.
So but we'll get to the deadline. But before we talk about the deadline, let's
Talk.
Talk
talk ball.
ball.
All right. TARIK Skubal, the Detroit Tigers, two-time Cy Young Award winner, future Hall of Famer, one of the best pitchers in baseball, if not the best, was traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers for Zaire Hope, River Ryan, and another pitching prospect. I can't remember who it was, but three prospects. Um, yeah, let's just give our thoughts on the trade, and then I have a follow-up question to talk about the state of baseball and the Dodgers all in one. So we'll just start with, what we think about the trade.
It was obvious. I mean, it was very obvious. I could have told you that, and we probably said on the podcast that Tariq Skubal was going to be a Dodger. Then it got to this season, and then he got hurt, and you're just like, the Dodgers are going to get him. The Tigers obviously gave him an offer that he didn't like, and they very much underpaid him. But this isn't about the Tigers. It's about all teams in the MLB not named the Los Angeles Dodgers. Like, for me, and we'll talk about the bigger implications of baseball after. One, the Tigers obviously lost the trade. You lose one of the best pitchers of the generation for three prospects. Doesn't matter who the prospects are. But in terms of baseball, everyone lost besides the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are doing nothing wrong. They are just acquiring talent, and they're clearly just better at acquiring talent than everyone else. There's no reason any other team with a loaded farm system couldn't have made an offer for Tariq Skubal that the Tigers could have liked more. And the fact that he went to Los Angeles is more of an indictment of how the Dodgers continue to separate themselves from the rest of the league. Yeah, sure, they pay everyone. So do the Mets, and you could still suck. But the Dodgers, by doing what they're doing, are showing that they have the best leadership in the league, they have the best owner in the league, and they obviously have the best players in the league. And that shows that the MLB is falling behind more than the Dodgers are going ahead because not in my opinion, like any team could have paid Tyree Skubal. These owners have money, and the Dodgers are now going to pay him before this lockout. And so I'm not even mad at the Dodgers. I'm mad that the Dodgers got him, but like Skubal said it the other day. He's just like every team could have traded for me. I don't sympathize with people that are complaining because the Dodgers are doing all the right things. Like I think there's no better way to put it than how he did. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a Tigers fan, I'm pissed. Um, I think that this has been I mean, Jake, you said it, this has been a long going discussion. Obviously, since they went to the negotiation table and there wasn't really much that was agreed upon between Tigers ownership and Skubal. Um, and it's unfortunate. I would say I agree. I could obviously you've seen it coming just obviously with all the talks that they had and like I said, nothing came out of that. And there wasn't anything that was agreed upon. Um, but you can't lose a guy like that. You just can't. Um, and I honestly I think it fucking started last postseason when you took him out in the seventh fucking inning against the Mariners when he was rolling. Like you don't you just I just feel like ever since that moment, Scubal's been done wrong by this Detroit Tigers. I wouldn't necessarily say staff. Obviously this is more of an ownership type thing, but um, it hasn't been right since. Um, I think obviously him going to the Dodgers it frustrates me because I mean anybody who has a guy like that on their team and you trade him to a team who is quote unquote ruining baseball, you're not gonna be a happy guy. I would definitely be more happy if obviously we sent him to fucking I don't even anywhere else, honestly. Almost anywhere else. Like that's frustrating. But I can't blame LA. Like obviously, like Scooble said it, Jake, you mentioned it. Like they're paying the money. Like they're the ones that are actually making moves. They're the ones that are actually doing things. And that's the difference there. Like that is it's why they've won. It's why they're going to continue to win. It's why they are, one of the best teams in baseball is because they continue to pay money and they continue to go get guys. Like that is just what you need to do now. Um, we can talk about obviously, the whole cap issue thing, and obviously, yes, there needs to be a cap. Um, we can talk about that. That has nothing to do with Tigers ownership and Harris and him deciding to trade Skubal. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. I think obviously that's more of a discussion with the Dodgers and everything that they have on in their repertoire now. And it's insane. Like you get the best pitcher in the AL, but arguably the best pitcher in baseball. Um, and you already have a few of the best pitchers in baseball on your roster, and you have really, really, really good talent. And that's all to mention that Shohei wants to come back and he wants to pitch, which is fucking crazy to think about. So, um, yeah, it's frustrating. I think now it's like, as a Tigers fan, as an organization, you have to really sit there and think about like where do you even go from here? Like what is the plan now? What is seriously the plan? Um, because this is like it's not even in baseball, but like in professional sports, if you have a generational talent on your roster, you have a guy who is one of the best at what he does in the business. You do not give that up. That is something that you build around. That is something you're able to use leverage. That's leverage. You use leverage for that to go and get more guys. Like we have him on our roster. Come play with him. Come win with him. Now you don't have that. You really don't have that. I mean, you could talk about like Riley Green's on the roster. Yeah, maybe you say Riley Green's here, but who the fuck cares? Like he's not Derek Scooble. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's to me that's what's frustrating is you had so much leverage there, especially after what you did last year. Leading up to the postseason, the turnaround that they had last season, and making it as far as they did in the postseason, and you basically blow it all up. So it's frustrating. I don't know. I don't know where you go from here.
Um, so for me,
I'm excited. I'm excited
this,
for this.
for me, this trade stung a little bit when it happened. And it's like, it was like when you're in a relationship and you know the relationship is coming to an end and you're like, dang, it's coming to an end. And it finally happens. And it's like, kind of stings a little bit. You're like, I know this was coming down the road, but it kind of stings a little bit. Like, dang, that's what this was to me. I've been a lifelong fan with my dad who got me into baseball. And I've been playing baseball since I could walk with my dad. And we've been going to Tigers games for as long as I can remember. I remember when the Tigers, when I was 11, they got all the way to the World Series and they got absolutely smacked upside the head by the Giants.
We
I
got
mean,
fucked up.
they got, oh my goodness. I remember sitting there as a kid thinking, like, this is bad. Like, we got all the way to the World Series and we just got swept. Given that was one of the best World Series teams of all time with Pablo Sandoval and Bumgarner, and that Giants team was insane. And Posey, you really can't do anything about that. But as a kid, I just remember feeling so defeated because that was the apex of Detroit sports. The Pistons in my lifetime haven't gotten to that point. The Lions obviously almost got to that point, but haven't gotten to that point. And this was the one team that had gone all the way to the finals. And so from there to about, I want to say maybe 5 years ago, the Tigers have been rebuilding because they traded Verlander, they traded everybody away that was going to become expensive because Detroit couldn't pay, just like they can't, or they didn't want to pay, just like they don't want to pay SKUBAL. And during that rebuild, there were times where I loved the Tigers so much I wouldn't watch them play ball because it was disgusting to watch. Like genuinely, one of the worst teams in the league for like a good portion of my upbringing. And I didn't want to watch it because I love the Tigers. I don't want to watch them lose every night. So what SKUBAL meant to me was the new formed Tigers. This was the moment after the rebuild where you see everything clearly. And you're like, we just got the best pitcher in the league. He just became the best pitcher in the league 2 years ago. Like he became the best pitcher. He won back-to-back Cy Youngs. It's only been done by what, 4 human beings, I think, like 4 or 5 people ever have won back-to-back Cy Youngs. In the 2 years he wins Cy Young, we're in the ALDS, right? We win the ALDS, right? Or we get there. Excuse me, we get to the ALDS both times.
You lose in game 5 both times.
Right.
With SKUBAL pitching both times.
And that's that game 5 that I just told you about when you
Yes.
pulled them. And you
And
weren't supposed to
Tucson,
pull.
before you start going or keep going, I know some people might go, TARIK SKUBAL gave up a grand slam in 2024 game 5, but the Tigers also gave him 1 run of support and then 2 runs of support the next year.
Well, that's
so
my
it wasn't on TARIK SKUBAL. Let's get that clear.
Well, that's my point, is that he literally by himself in 2 years of winning the Cy Young had a WAR above 6. Anytime you finish with a WAR above 5, you're a top league player. Anytime you finish with a WAR above 5. So for him to have like a WAR of 6.5, nearly 7 as a pitcher, playing every 5th day is amazing. And the years where he's elite, we get to the playoffs. Because he's him leaving isn't just him leaving. The 300 million plus we were supposed to invest in him was the wins. That was the wins. I mean, it wasn't just SKUBAL. You're paying SKUBAL. Now the Tigers have quite literally dropped a tier or two among teams because they lost SKUBAL. So for me, it was hope in the sense that when we have SKUBAL, we are one of the teams that can win the AL pennant. We have the ability to win the pennant with SKUBAL. And now with him gone, we're now entering into another rebuild because you didn't want to pay the money to one person. So he was much more than just one person to me. Like he represented the new era of what the Tigers could be. If we got some bats in here, Blake was talking about spending money. We don't spend money on nobody. You got the best pitcher in the league and you ain't going to go sign nobody. You wasting the good years you have when you're not paying him. You know what I mean? So if you do sign him, you're still going to waste the years. I'm happy he's not on the team from the perspective of his, like, I want him to have a great career. I don't want his career to get wasted. It's like the Matthew Stafford thing. That's what this reminds me of. When it happened to me, it was like deja vu with Matthew Stafford. You know that both sides, it was time to go. You really wanted Stafford to stay because imagine Stafford with this Lions team. You're like, that'd been amazing. But the franchise mismanaged it. They mishandled what they had in front of him and then traded it away. And in the first year, both these guys are going to win teams with LA. So, it's one of those things where I really hate to look at it from that standpoint. And it hurts me because now the Tigers are bad. And we're not a franchise that's good all the time. We're not the Braves. We're not the Phillies. We're not the Dodgers. We're not the Yankees. So when we have a generational player, I almost feel like you're obligated to pay them because you drafted them, you developed them, you raised them into this player. And now when they're asking for the money that they deserve, they've gotten you all these wins and done everything for the franchise, and you're like, I'm making $6 billion this year, but I don't want to give you 40 M's. That's just, to me, is disrespectful. And then the fact that they lowballed him, there was a report today that after he won his first Cy Young, Scott Harris offered him a 4-year, $75 million deal. You telling me you gonna offer him 4 years, $75 million? I get that they tried to jump the train early, but that's just disrespectful. And then last year, they said there were $100+ million between, starting negotiations in the contract. It's like, how are you $100 million apart from a guy that won 2 Cy Youngs back to back and is the best pitchers in the league? So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I just felt like ownership disrespected him, and the whole city of Detroit, a whole state of Michigan wanted him. We just wanted to pay him. We didn't ask for much more than just pay him, and they wouldn't do that. So for me, it's just I'm just so done with the ownership. Just the Illis family is really cheap, and this is what we have to expect as Tigers fans. But as far as it goes on the Dodgers side, I want to get into the whole, oh my goodness, the sky is falling down and the league is gonna obliterate, and we're going to be into some serious trouble. What do we think of now the Dodgers have assembled all the Infinity Stones and they're going to become a dynasty? Everyone's talking about the looming lockout and the salary cap. What do we think about all of that and where this league is headed?
One, God bless Jacob deGrom for blocking his trade thing to the Braves. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say
I wanted that. I wanted that. I wanted to see some competition in the
Yeah,
NL.
no, God bless. Like, I am actually one of the probably only fan bases that sympathizes with Tigers fans there, because I've seen a pitcher win back-to-back Cy Youngs get no run support, and then obviously very different, but like the DeGrom left and the Mets wouldn't pay him, and different stages of the careers, all that. Um, but you can't be mad at Tariq Skubal. You can't be mad at the Dodgers, right? You could be mad at the rest of the MLB, especially when the Dodgers win the World Series. Right now, I'm pretty sure Los Angeles has the best record in the MLB. We're sitting here on August 4th. They haven't been playing well as of late. The Diamondbacks actually are, I don't want to say catching up to them, but like there's a little bit of worry sneaking into this Dodgers team. But come September, October, they're the favorites to win the World Series, and 70% of betting money will make them win the World Series. And it would have been that case without TARIK Skubal. I do think there are bigger implications here. And I think one of them is with this impending lockout and salary cap, like we're talking about. The Dodgers are going to extend Tariq Skubal. It's going to be north of 400 million, if I had to guess. Right? Is that fair? Like, and
Yeah, he's gonna charge
It's gonna be
more
a lot
now.
of money. It's
they're going
gonna
to
be
give
a
him a
lot of
lot of
money.
money, and it's going to be
He's hey, the Tigers price ain't the Dodgers price. They're going way up.
exactly.
Fuck
And
no.
so that's going to happen, and that's going to be all 29 owners' last bulletin board point for why we need a salary cap. Because the Dodgers should not be able to pay Shohei Ohtani 700 million, Mookie Betts 300 million, Freddie Freeman 300 million, Tariq Skubal 400, Kyle Tucker's making 60 million a year, Teoscar Hernandez, I'm pretty sure is making north of 40. This shouldn't be allowed. And they're going to say that. And to be fair, I agree with them, but the owners did that to themselves. They really did. And I'll tell you that because teams are willing to pay people. There are just some that aren't. I'll name a team that's willing to pay people and still aren't good at baseball. The Dodgers don't have the highest payroll in baseball. You know who has the highest payroll in baseball? The New York Mets. You know how many games under 500 they are? 18. So it's not like paying people is the reason that you're going to win. Obviously, acquiring big talent, it's helpful. The Dodgers are a great baseball team led by one of the best coaches of this generation, and their owners are willing to pay. I think in the broader scheme of things, it's obviously going to be the thing that causes the lockout. I think the SKUBAL trade caused a lot of the trades yesterday too, because with the lockout, people want to lock people down. I think that's why the Yankees went and got Luis Garcia. They control him till the end of next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they extended him, even though they didn't technically need him, right? Or the Red Sox going to get Adley Rutschman, or I can name a few others, right? The Rays getting Freddie Peralta. He might be a rental. They might extend him. With the lockout, you're going to see some guys getting bigger extensions than they deserve and probably more deferrals. And it's all because they're following what the Dodgers do. And then, I mean, I'll give foreshadowing to episode 140 or something when it's the official MLB lockout, and the main reason is because of this new CBA and salary cap. It's going to change everything, but it's not going to change the fact that the Dodgers are the cream of the crop, right? And they might be the first team in a very long time to win 3 straight World Series titles, and it's really a top-down thing. Like I'm just stating over and over again, it really is a top-down thing, and I think it's. I don't want to use the word cowardly, but it is a little cowardly by Tigers ownership. You guys might be a little more like willing
No,
to
say
use
it
that word.
loud. Say it louder. Say it
Yeah,
louder.
okay. Cool.
Say it louder.
Like for 25 out of 30 MLB franchises, TARIK Skubal's the best pitcher you would have seen. Tigers fans maybe not, because you obviously had Justin Verlander. That's a debate that you could do on a Detroit podcast, so I'm not doing that here. Um, but the fact that the Dodgers are willing to and they're going to win again is why the lockout's going to happen, because there's frustration about how the Dodgers operate, how they put out talent, how they acquire talent, and how the players feel about it. And that's not because the Dodgers are doing something wrong. It's because the Dodgers have separated themselves so much. And I think you guys are going to say something very similar, but like it's stupid to say the reason the MLB lockout's going to happen is because the Dodgers are so much better than everyone else, because we've never seen that in any sport before. But you can definitely make that argument. You definitely can.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna, I mean, I touched on it a little bit and I didn't want to touch on it because we were talking more so Tigers, but um, I touched on it with my reaction to the Skubal trade. Like, there has to be a salary cap. I said you can blame the salary cap for the Dodgers acquiring Skubal, but you can't blame the salary cap for Detroit giving up Skubal. Um, and this is not a shot. I agree with you, Jake. Almost everything that you said. This is not a shot at the Dodgers. I don't think you can't be mad at the Dodgers. The Dodgers are just operating with what they're allowed to do and what they have, and they got deep pockets and they got money, and that's not gonna change unless there's a salary cap, unless you put a cap on it, and you don't allow teams to operate that way. It's just it's gonna continue doing the same things. So you blame Robert Manfred, you blame the guys up in the office and in the MLB office, like those are the guys that you blame. Um, not mad at LA at all. Shit, you give me you give me billions of dollars, I'm about to go pay everybody. Like, and I'm about to keep stacking rings because that's also the thing. You just keep stacking rings, you get more money. Like that's how it operates. So yeah, no, I mean there needs to be a salary cap. I agree. Yeah, like we're gonna probably see LA win again, and then we're gonna go into a lockout, and then we're gonna talk about CBA and a salary cap and things like that. Um, I think it's a little insane that the MLB has been around for so long and there hasn't been a salary cap yet. That to me is crazy. But yeah, I mean you can't. Bottom of the line is you can't blame LA for operating with what they have. Um, yeah, I mean that's really all that I have to it.
Yeah. And Tucson, one thing before you go too, like this isn't a small market versus big market thing. And Blake, you spoke about it too. Any team could have paid Tariq Skubal, and the Dodgers were just the ones to do it. And I think the last thing that's going to push us over hump, if the Pirates pay Paul Skeens or if they don't pay Paul Skeens, it's a lose-lose, because Skeens is 24. He should be the highest paid pitcher in MLB history. If the Pirates pay him, then it becomes, why didn't the Tigers pay Skubal? Why didn't these smaller teams pay their generational pitchers? If the Pirates don't pay Paul Skeens and Skeens becomes a Yankee, like that stupid reporter said to his face, which tweaker of the week. But if Paul Skeens goes to a big market team, then it's just like screw the small teams for not paying him. And again, that's not the big team's fault that they did. It's the small teams that they didn't, right?
They're trying so hard to get Skeens to New York, but they keep
They're
trying
trying
to
so
talk it
hard.
into existence. It's starting to piss me off, bro.
Livy has Babe Ruth's apartment pretty much. Like, come on.
That's hilarious. They'd probably give Babe Ruth's left toe if they could get
Bro.
Skeens.
No, for real.
The only thing I disagree with the Dodgers, and again, you're right in the respect that the name of the game is to win as many games, win a championship, and it's not like they discovered this crazy thing like let's just spend the most money. But for me, it's a little bit of their arrogance and their lack of uh awareness to the integrity of the sport. And I have nothing either. Here's what I could say. I used to be of the thought in the mindset of, well, they're getting all these good players, like it's their fault. And then I took a step back and I was like, well, Boston let go of their player, Tampa let go, now Detroit, like all these teams are letting go of these players. And the Dodgers are just saying every trade deadline, every offseason, we'll just get the best one or two players. Literally every deadline, they've gotten two of the best players, or offseason in combination. Every year, they've gotten the best player. So I can't say it's their fault for trading or signing team players from teams that have decided we don't want to pay anymore, right? I don't understand to this day. I don't know why Boston gave up Mookie. I can't tell you why Atlanta decided to give Freddie Freeman away and then pay Matt Olson pretty much nearly the same thing. The only difference was 2 years and $6 million, and they got rid of Freddie Freeman to give him away. But still, I don't understand that. So some owners are making these stupid decisions, and the Dodgers owner is smartly just saying, "Well, if you don't want to pay him, I'll pay him, and I'll just gather his talent." So I understand that completely. The part of the game where I have the problem with what they're doing is the fact that they're like, we're not breaking baseball and we're not doing anything that is out of the ordinary, so you can't blame us. Where it's like, you're not doing anything wrong, but you're doing the one thing that every owner kind of without saying has done. It has not done. Excuse me. No owner has been like, well, I got $5 billion. Let me just spend half of it on a team. You know what I mean? I think people have thought about that, but there's some integrity to the sport. There's some, let's develop some of our players. Let's sign players to the right contracts. Let's not spend $2 billion because we know there's no salary cap. You can spend the most. Just don't defer a $700 million contract and then 2 years later or 3 years later be like, yeah, let's go get the best hitter in baseball for $60 million. Like, they just won the World Series and they went and signed a guy for $60 million on average, traded for SKUBAL, and are about to give him $400 million. That's my only problem. Once you start winning and you have all these good players, don't keep buying. Don't keep saying, well, we need more. We need Edwin Diaz. We need this and we need, and I get it. I get it. I understand.
It brings greed though.
But see,
Championships bring greed, and that's
my problem. They're just too greedy. And the reason why baseball, like you said, I wonder why there's been no salary cap, because people have governed themselves. People have understood that there is an integrity to the sport, to not spending all this money on a roster, but doing it within a frame and a system where, okay, I'm not spending so much money that I'm losing my mind, but I'm spending enough that I'm topping everybody else. Philly spends a lot of money. The Giants spend a lot of money. It's not about that. It's just that, no offense to Jake, but the Mets spent $180 million on Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette is not the best.
You won't be offending me. Don't worry. Keep saying it.
Bro, Bo Bichette is not the best at anything. He's a good player, but he's not worth $60 million in general. He's worth a lot of money. He's just not worth that money. So the Dodgers are just doing the smart thing and saying, well, we can pay everybody, so we'll just get the best player from every trade. You know what I mean? So it's,
yeah, I think I would argue though also that it's a lot of these other teams that can't spend that money. They're starting to use that Billy Bean, Peter Brand mindset of, like, let's go and get all these low tier guys who are average players, and we can pay them just a little bit of money.
That's a great idea. Okay,
we can win.
Let me talk about that. Let me talk about that for a second. Milwaukee and Tampa, through no fault of their own, are poisoning the league in tandem with the Dodgers. It's not their fault. But because you spend $80 million on a roster and somehow you have Kevin Cash, who's one of the best AL managers, and you win every year, or you're the Brewers and you win a lot of games and you always get a top seed, you're going to do this thing where, look at, Mizorowski is not going to be a Brewer for life. He's going to want $300 million, and they're going to trade him. Same thing happens with Tampa every year. Right. Same thing happens with Tampa. The only person that Tampa ever paid money to, big money, in the last, decade, really, was the one guy who now he's got legal issues, but he's no longer with the team. Let's just say that.
He wants to return. He wants to return.
Bro, don't even let him sniff the league. We got Junior Caminero now.
Say go play.
Go play. We got Caminero. He's gonna get your contract. All right, so relax. But no, through their no fault of their own, I mean, the Dodgers are spending all this money, and then the Brewers are winning a lot of games, and it's like we can justify not spending a lot of money, so it stretches the difference in the payroll out. So it's like you're right. We have to have a salary cap. The Pirates have to spend $200 million in order to compete, or at least have a ceiling where everyone else is not going over the top. And I and here's the
Listen,
last thing. Here, go
no, no,
ahead.
no, no, you go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, here's the last thing. I think it's also the fact of the types of contracts that have been introduced to the MLB. If you go look at the Padres, they have some of the
Yep.
worst looking contracts that you could ever imagine. They gave
Yep.
Xander Bogaerts an 11-year deal when he was like nearly 30. Why? You gave I like Manny Machado, but you gave him 10 years, 300 million. This year, that 30 million looks like it's going into the incinerator. You look like you're burning money paying Manny Machado. Not even hitting 200. You're giving him 30 M's. So I think people are offering these huge contracts, right?
Yeah.
And in response, it's like Milwaukee's doing this thing where they're signing prospects before they even come up to play. 8 years, 90 million. Go take this money. So we can signify that we're signing him for cheap. Meanwhile, you got teams spending 300. So there's just a huge gap in the spending and the contracts that are being offered. If you're giving Xander Bogaerts 11-year, 300 million, but you're giving a new prospect 8 years, 100 million, there's a problem there. You know what I mean? So like there has to be the logic.
Also, all these franchises are letting their faces walk. It's not only the Tigers with Tariq Skubal, it's the Mets with Pete Alonso not being able to pay him, even though they totally could have, or the Yankees almost not paying Aaron Judge so much that a lot of people believed he was signing with the Giants, like Freddie Freeman going to the Dodgers because the Braves didn't want to pay him after he won the franchise's first World Series title in a long time. You see this all across the MLB. The Tigers trading Justin Verlander to the Astros when they very well could have paid him because their staff was fine, or Max Scherzer, to be fair. But this isn't a gang up on the Tigers thing because, like, we're getting the thing that the Tigers are one of the worst franchises in the sport. They're not. It's the Marlins trading Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich, Marcelo Zuna, and those guys after obviously Jose Fernandez passed away. Very unfortunate. And then they trade all of those guys. That was a World Series team if they kept it there. And for years, the MLB has said your franchise faces, if they're not worth a value that it says on the chart, we're not going to pay them, even though we can. And the Dodgers go, screw it, we will. Or the Yankees sometimes go, screw it, we will. But the Yankees don't even do that anymore because the main frustration of Yankees fans is they're not doing enough. And so the Dodgers are that one team that is willing to put their balls to the wall there. And it's just like, it's a sad representation of the rest of the MLB because I could name a franchise player either walking or being traded when they totally could have been worth a new contract. And that player had thousands of jerseys from fans on their back, or not jerseys from fans, you know what I'm saying. And so it's sad because I don't think you see this a lot in the other sports, and maybe it's because of the salary cap, maybe it's not, but it's these owners and these GMs' hesitancy to keep the face of the franchise and overpay him when he means so much to that franchise. And I think Scooble's just another example of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, shit, listen, Robert Manfred cannot put a salary cap in all he wants, and he can lose fans and people stop watching. I mean, that would is what it would boil down to at some point. You know, people, a whole bunch of people getting pissed off, seeing LA win every fucking year, seeing New York get there, whatever the case may be, and you know, that's that. It's up to him, honestly. I just think I just think though, like ownership needs to, I think ownership of a few teams, like stop being scared and just pay the fucking money. I would rather have, you know, that franchise player, my guy, on the roster and a whole bunch of scrubs, then give him away. Like you at least have a chance of winning having that guy on your roster. And then worry about the rest of the shit later. Worry about all the rest of the money that you're gonna spend later and how you're gonna get it, whatever the case may be. Worry about that later. Like pay your guy. I don't understand. I just don't understand the you know, we're just gonna give him away because we don't want to spend money and we need to save this money for yada yada yada, whoever. No, no. Like I would rather have that one guy on the team who is the generational player, best in the fucking league, whatever the case may be, because that's your best chance at winning is right there. That's your best chance. What are you fucking waiting to develop players and get young guys to win what fucking 5 years down the road?
Which
That's not gonna win shit.
what you're doing is penalizing people because it's like, okay, you want me to be the best player or one of your best player? Okay, well, when it's time for me to sign my contract, you don't want to pay me the money that I've been working hard to like the work I've been putting in isn't for the contract that I've been doing. It's the work is for the next contract. The work you put in is for the next contract. So what I've been doing is for what you should be paying me. And now you don't want to pay me after you drafted me and developed me, and I've been here 8 years of my life. Bro, when I saw TARIK, he was crying half the time he was talking about leaving because he didn't actually want to leave. He never wanted to leave the Tigers. He wanted to stay with us. He liked playing for the Tigers. He wanted to be here his entire career. And the guy who inherited the Little Caesars fortune didn't want to give him a tiny fraction of his paycheck, even though the entire state is telling him, pay him. And that's the thing that annoys me. It's like, we're the fans, all right? We pay for the merchandise and the tickets and for the majority of what happens. And we're putting money in your pocket. So all we're telling you is to put the money that we're putting in your pocket in his pocket so we can all be happy. And you don't want to do that. This is why I have so many problems with ownership. This is why if you ask me the one thing in sports that probably bothers me the most is ownership across the board, because there are people that genuinely do not deserve to own a team. Artie Moreno of the Angels doesn't deserve to own a team. You live in LA, you have a team in Los Angeles, and you're that bad for this long, you don't deserve a team. Like, there's some people that just genuinely don't deserve to own a team. You're a cheapskate, and if you gave me your wealth, I would spend the money. Like, there has to be guardrails. There just has to be
Yeah.
guardrails for ownership. I mean, look at, not to switch sports, but look at the Portland owner. I don't know how he bought the team, but he bought the team with all the money in his bank account, and now he can't afford to let people sleep in and take an extra day in the hotel. Like, come on, let's be real here. So this is why just ownership we need to have a lot better guardrails for the owners in the league. Like, everybody doesn't have to be spending the most money, but spend enough that it matters to the fans, that you're actually trying. Not that here's the last thing I'll say. Some teams, as a fan, sometimes you only see once in a lifetime generational talent. The Tigers had three lifetime, once in a lifetime generational talent across a decade. We had three of them: Scherzer, Verlander, and SKUBAL, and we traded away all three of them.
Christ.
And the last time we've been to the finals, or last time we've been to the World Series, the only time was in 2013. And then I think before that was maybe like 1960. So, like, it tells you all you need to know. Let's talk about the rest of the deadline. Obviously, we just spent a lot of time on SKUBAL, which was the overarching thing. But there were some very interesting trades that went through. Why doesn't everybody talk about why don't we do this? First, let's go through the most impactful trades for everybody and just give like maybe one or two. Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I mean, mine's obvious. It's the Mets trading all their guys. I think Freddie Peralta to the Rays is a really big one. I think what Tampa Bay did between Peralta, Liam Hicks, a few others guys, they're going for it as they should. Small market team,
Yeah.
going for it. And that's great. And the Mets additions obviously aren't flashy. I like Jefferson Rojas. He'll be our number one prospect because our farm system's decimated. I mean, I'm going to stop talking about the Mets, but they gave up their third and fifth ranked prospect for Freddie Peralta. They got back like 14, 26, and 27 from the Brewers. So it says enough about the Mets. The fact that they're trading people is a statement by themselves. I think the biggest trade for me, and I'm stealing one of the easy ones, is Adley Rutschman to the Red Sox. Now, Rutschman's had a very up and down year and up and down career, but he is an all-star, and he's going to add a lot to Boston. Boston had one of the best Julys that the MLB's ever seen. They've won 8 straight series, and they're a legitimate threat to win the World Series, and a lot of people wouldn't have thought that 2 years ago. and they get Rutschman, and their return's pretty decent too. I really like Carlos Narvaez, and I like the prospects they got too. Rutschman's a big one for me because now you're looking at the AL East. I think there's three real contenders there in the Rays, the Red Sox, and the Yankees, and it really makes it an interesting race.
Oh, they're all in the AL Central. The rest of the AL is just trash.
Yeah, the AL, no, literally, the AL right now is pretty much just the Rays and the Yankees and the Red Sox.
And maybe the
Like
Astros. Maybe the
maybe
Astros.
the Astros, right? And like, who was their big acquisition yesterday? Dalton Varsho. Like, I like Dalton Varsho. He actually had a great
I mean,
postseason
the
last.
Astros are just always dangerous to do something, but that's like it. That's like everyone else is just like the Central is hot garbage, and
Exactly.
The East is like, I mean the
West.
West. What did I, yeah, I had a malfunction. Yeah, the West AL West is other than the Astros because. I feel like a lot of people thought the Mariners were going to be really good this season, and I knew Cal Raleigh was going to take a step back, and they have been a significant. They're just as good as we are. They're literally a one game. They're literally one game over. No, they're under 500.
Yeah,
They're
they're
three
under
game.
500
Yeah,
still.
we're 4 games under 500. They're 3 games under 500.
Christ. Yeah, no, they're not having a good year either. And then they traded for Taylor Ward and stuff. Like
Yeah,
it's
that does nothing. Some of these teams they make like one trade to make themselves feel good. Taylor Ward won't change anything. No, I'm serious. Some of these moves are like the Pirates. No offense, the Pirates getting Luke Weaver was like we might as well. That's like we might as well get in the deadline. Like
Yeah. Um, I really like Yankees going to get Luis Garcia Jr. I really do. Um, he led the slugging percentage, or he was leading slugging percentage in the NL. Obviously we seen it last night. First game in, hits a homer. Like, I like that a lot. I do. Especially because they're trying to make a little push there to get back to that first spot. Obviously that the Rays hold that, but. Or are they like I think 2 games behind now, 3 games behind, probably 3 games from after last night. Um, so yeah, that's the one that I really like. I think also Cleveland going to get Griffin. I like that one a lot too. You get a pitcher trying to they're also trying to make, a little last minute push, trying to win a division title. So I fucking hate Cleveland, but I gotta give them props there because
and they got
um,
Adele too.
yeah, exactly. Like when you're a team that's trying to make a little last minute push and you go make good deals, like that's the shit that I value. So um I think those two stand out to me the most.
For me, it was the Cubs. Um, I thought going to get Gosman was a pretty good deal. Um,
Cubs had some good deals, yeah.
yeah.
This is the last run I feel like for Gosman as like he's gonna be 35, so I don't know where he'll land and what his contract will look like, but he's still in pretty good shape, which I liked. Um
They
I
got him for
also
nothing too.
yeah,
Respectfully.
yeah. No, they did. They did. Also like, Mets sent out Clay Holmes to the Cubs. I like Clay Holmes for the Cubs. He's a good quality starter that they can use. I think they got another pitcher. I can't remember who, but they got another pitcher. Um, Other than that, I mean, there weren't many teams that I thought did too crazy. Padres were pretty good. They went and got Robbie Ray last year of his contract and Mize, which Mize is a good pitcher and Robbie Ray is solid in spots. So like that's two good starters that you can get. Musgrove is coming back for them. One acquisition that I thought was interesting was Marcelo Mayer to the Giants. Giants were selling at the deadline pretty much, but Mayer has Geez, I really hate Boston. They really don't give a lot of their prospects a lot of run, or they have it in lately. I feel like some of their prospects haven't been getting opportunities, and I feel like it's been kind of a logjam. So with Mayer going to San Francisco, he'll finally get an opportunity to kind of, play on his own, run on his own. So I thought that was a good one. But all in all, I mean, this deadline was very average, apart from the SKUBAL trade. Everything else is kind of like, you know. Oh, the one thing that I thought was weird was Luis Arias to the Phillies and how the Phillies
Yeah.
said they're gonna reassemble their entire defense. They're putting Harper back in outfield, moving Bohm to first, keeping Arias at second because he said he wanted to play second and nothing else, and putting Stott at third. And I was like, you're gonna change your entire defensive positioning for one player. And no offense to Arias, but he's like the most expendable good offensive player in the league. Like the man signs 1 year deals every year and gets traded. So
Mm.
as most expendable offensive talent, which is contact. But I was going to talk about our respective teams, but obviously our respective teams now are even worse. Um, Both of our
Yeah, no,
teams
I'm
suck.
good.
It's a misery podcast. Um, yeah, want to just get into tweaker of the week?
Yeah, we could keep it short.
Yeah, there's nothing else really for.
Ooh, I gotta think of mine.
Yeah, take your time. You can just edit this part out.
Tweaker. Damn, who is my tweaker, bro?
Bro, why does Twitter not show you your likes anymore? What's wrong with this?
Hmm.
I need
Bro,
to
you have
find.
to go to like you gotta click out of your profile and go to you have to go to something bookmarks or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I
there'll
actually
be a
have.
tab. You gotta like
Oh,
scroll over
I see it.
and
I see it. I
or
see
like
it.
your history. It's like a history tab or something. I don't know. It's
I
I
weird.
got it.
I actually do have a tweaker of the week.
You go
So
ahead.
the Cleveland Sirens. I mean, there's teams named the Sirens already, and you're taking what's it called? A PWHL team's name too. There's just a million other ways they could have went. I don't even mind the name. I actually really like the logo, and I'm very excited about the WNBA's expansion, especially in Cleveland. But I just think that they could have picked a name that hasn't been used yet, and I think it would have been received a lot better. But hey, excited that the W is expanding, but that is a little frustrating and annoying, and I'm not the only one saying that.
Type shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go Aaron Rodgers. He went on Pat McAfee show
Mm.
and was tripping yesterday. What was that
Yep.
yesterday? That was yesterday, right? On Monday?
Yeah.
Bro, he was tripping. Like tripping. I'm not gonna get into the Fauci stuff because I know that's politics and we don't do that here, but he was tripping. The Rossini thing was crazy. I
Yeah.
know, bro, Pat McAfee had to be shitting his pants while he was saying that. Cause like you gotta think about it, bro. Like Pat McAfee,
He
especially now
probably
all the
was.
layoffs, they're saying Pat McAfee's like the golden boy at ESPN now. Aaron Rodgers is up there just ripping your boss to shreds.
He was like, "Why didn't you report it? What's wrong
He
with
was like,
you?"
"Why didn't you report it? What the hell is going on? Like, are you serious?" Like, no. And he's like, "It what, bro?" He said some. He's like, "There's an investigation of one of the top NFL insiders, and nobody can fucking say anything. What the hell is going on, bro?" He was tripping, and then he just left it off as he said something. You know what? I don't even care anymore. Yeah, we know. We know you don't care. Like, bro, that was crazy work. That was crazy work. That shit was wild, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Fauci thing was a little uncalled for, but other than that, though, that shit was wild. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him for saying the Rossini thing because it's like, I mean, real shit though. Like, there's a whole investigation and nobody
Yo,
can say nothing. Like, what is going on for
yo,
real?
I love how he got on the podcast and they didn't screen him. They weren't like, "So, what are you gonna talk about?" He sat down and was like, "Nah, you gotta start talking. Say something."
Bro, that
I know
that
Pat
shit.
McAfee. He probably got that call after like we
Bro,
got.
no, that's what I'm saying. Bro, when he started going in on Rossini, I was like, oh, I know Pat is shitting his pants right now, bro. He had to. I wanna now I'm
Bro,
interested to see if Aaron Rodgers is ever gonna be back on Pat McAfee show. Like I'm
yo,
genuinely
Yo,
invested
that's
to see.
genuinely so funny because I love how he has zero awareness of the situation. It's like you're talking to a guy
Bro,
employed by the company you're talking about. Like that's hilarious.
bro,
Um,
he was tripping.
my tweaker is the NFL community. They said Lamar Jackson is the 69th best player in the league according to
Like,
the
what are we
top
doing?
100,
What are we
and
doing,
and
bro?
I quite literally had to stop, and I almost tweaked out because I was like,
What?
they had Bo Nix ahead of him, and I like Bo
Get
Nix.
the fuck out of
I
here.
like Bo Nix, but Bo Nix is not better than Lamar Jackson right now.
Come
And
on, bro.
I genuinely had to sit there for a minute and think like he was number 69 in the top 100. They had uh they had Josh Allen as the number one player in the league. They're in the same boat.
Yeah.
They're literally in the
Bro.
same boat. I don't know how you could think that one is way better than they're like 1A and 1B. Like
I didn't look at that. I didn't look at that list, but knowing that he's 69,
it's numbers.
I know for a damn fact there's a few offensive linemen ranked ahead of him. There can never in God's green earth there ever be an offensive lineman that is better at football than Lamar Jackson. I know they're two totally different positions, but there would never be a universe where an offensive lineman is a better football player than Lamar Jackson is. I just
They
had to put
said
that.
they said Trevor Lawrence was a better football player than him.
Come on, bro.
They said Trevor
This
Lawrence
is
was better than him.
disrespectful. This is
Um,
disrespectful.
they
This is
said
crazy.
they said
This is
Cortland
crazy.
Sutton. They said Cortland Sutton from from Denver, the wide receiver, is
Yeah,
68th. He's one. They say Cortland Sutton is one spot better than Lamar Jackson.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I would have crashed out if I was Lamar. Putting Cortland Sutton one rank above me.
Hold on. We got to look at this top 100 because it might be the entire list.
This is an MVP that we're talking about. This is an MVP quarterback we're talking about. What are we doing?
No, I'm so serious. We got to look at
Is
these top
this
one.
is this the top 100 that NFL Network does?
I don't know if this is NFL Network or if
Like
this
the
is just the
top one,
NFL.
this top 100 rankings they do every single year?
Yeah, top
That's the
100.
top 100 rankings they do every single year?
Yeah, that's the top 100. They haven't listed. I think they're only up to 37, and 37 is Penei Sewell, which I like Penei Sewell. I don't know if I would say Penei Sewell is better than Lamar. Like
No, no, I just told you there's no
they got
universe where an offensive lineman is
they
going to be ranked
they
above
no
Lamar
no
fucking Jackson.
no. Listen to this. They have Jordan Brooks. Do you know who Jordan Brooks is?
I do.
They have him at 67. They have Jordan
Yeah.
Brooks, linebacker for Miami Dolphins, as 67, and Lamar is 69. Kevin Byard is 61. You're telling me Kevin Byard is better than Lamar Jackson?
Got it out the mud. Rashad McCants.
We'll see you next episode. Ain't no
See you
way
on
that's
next
ever gonna
episode,
happen.
man.
I can't
That is
believe they did
crazy.
that.
That is
They have
crazy.
they got Justin Herbert 39, but they gonna give Lamar Jackson 69. Yo, I'm about to start tweaking out in here.
Yeah, nah.
Ain't no way they give If Man 30 points higher, and he hasn't been past the second round of the playoffs, and they're giving Lamar 69.
That shit
Somebody,
crazy.
hey, what do they say? Nuke the whole generation.
Somebody
Nuke it
getting
all.
fired. Somebody getting fired.
Yeah. All right. We gotta end the podcast on that one because oh my goodness.
All right.
There's no way Justin Herbert is ahead of Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry. I'm take it over. I'm done.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy. All right, y'all. That's all. As always, run up socials, TikTok, Instagram. We gotta get some more content. We'll do that soon for y'all. Comment who y'all think has the best chance to defeat the Dodgers in the World Series because
That's a good
the
question.
Dodgers will be in the World Series. It's
Mm.
who has the best chance to potentially beat them in the World Series. So go ahead and comment that. As
You're
always,
saying
run
in
it
the
up.
World Series or just in general?
No, the World Series.
Okay. In the World Series, you gotta say in general. It's more likely that somebody in the NL beats them than someone in the AL.
That's true, but that is true. But
I
It's
mean,
the
they can
World
be
Series.
beat. I mean, they got taken to seven. They got took to 7 games last year. So I mean, they
They
can be
can
beat. But like I'm just saying,
they can be beat,
if you're
but
telling me would I take the NL or the AL field to beat them in terms of who has a better chance, I would give the Braves #1 shot, in my opinion.
yeah, for sure, 100%. But comment who's gonna. We know the Dodgers are gonna be there, nonetheless.
If you're watching
Comment,
this is all irrelevant. We can
comment,
fast forward to October or
comment,
September when they win it all.
comment, comment. Who has the best chance to possibly beat them? Run it up, like, comment, subscribe, share it out to everybody. That's it. Stay fly. Peace out.